this is James Helder for IFL TV. I'm at Bolton today at the Team Fury gym. With me, I've just bumped into trainer Joe Gallagher. How you doing, Joe?
Not too bad, James. How are you? Good to see you up here, mate.
Thank you, mate. Oh, it's good to see you out coming to support as well, showing a bit of love for the Furies.
Listen, plenty of sunshine outside here today, and like you say, it's a good establishment, and it's all positive, isn't it? Boxers getting putting stuff back into the community, just like Amir Khan. It's great fighters having their own gyms.
Amir Khan's been here based here for a while with his Gloves gym, is that right?
Yeah, Gloves Community Centre, yeah.
Community Centre. So how good is it that the area will now have a second kind of gym, a second base, and producing more fighters?
Yeah, not only that though, but it's the names, isn't it? Tyson Fury is one of the hottest names in world boxing. Amir Khan at the moment is one of the hottest names in world boxing after his performance at Colapso, and the two of them having gyms just a mile apart, and it's great for the young kids off the street, and that's what we want. We want the next generation of kids, and like you say, with Team Fury and Team Khan, they're doing their bit in producing that.
How impressed were you with Amir Khan versus Palazzo?
Very, very impressed. I was really pleased. The work they've done with Virgil Hunter showed off, paid huge dividends, and joking aside, if he's got a fight like that once a year, wrap him up again now till the Mayweather fight next year. So I really hope Amir gets the Floyd fight. Floyd fought Ricky in December when they fought, and I don't see there's no reason why Amir and Floyd can't happen in December neither. There was a poll between two, Maidana and Khan for his next opponent. He's fought Maidana, so Khan's the obvious choice next.
So I must say you've got an absolutely fantastic stable at the moment, and it's been there for a while, and I know you've been very vocal about it, but I think the rest of the world are kind of starting to realise just how good the boys are, you know?
Yeah, well listen, they're all good quality amateurs, and they've all come from good amateur backgrounds, they've all been with good amateur clubs, and listen, I'm just carrying on the projects that were started out, but the lads are doing really well. Some great stories amongst the lads, from the way that they've come back from the setbacks, and more so the lads like Anthony Crolla, Paul Smith, they're all on verges of world titles.
Anthony Crolla, John Murray, I haven't had a chance to chat to you after that. Pleasing for yourself that you got the victory in the manner he did?
Yeah, listen, it was a really good performance. I didn't want the fight really at first because I didn't really want to be a part in the ending of John Murray, but they wanted the fight, they paid big money for it, and like you say, Anthony Crolla took care of business. I said we'd win by stoppage, and we did do. Obviously now there's talk of him fighting Abril for the world title, and it's a just rewards. His last three fights, he's fought 3 European champions, Gavin Rees, Steve Foster and John Murray. That's some form guide there, and that kid's well deserving of a world title shot now, and like I say, Eddie Hearn's in talks now to deliver that.
Kid Galahad claiming the Commonwealth belt last week in Sheffield, adding that to his European title. Potential matchup with Scott Quigg in the pipeline. I think that's a fight that could be made.
I can't see that fight happening for at least 2 years, in all honesty. Scott Quigg's got a programme now for his next 2 or 3 fights. We want them 3 fights, then we'll take it from there. Obviously, Kid Galahad there, he's got to challenge Frampton for the European, but Carl gave it up. Listen, that's a good fight there, but Carl Frampton's got his course, we've got ours, and Kid Galahad's got his, and at the moment we're looking at unification fights and big fights like over in America, so Kid Galahad is on our radar at the moment, and we're on to another level.
Leo Santa Cruz on the radar?
Definitely, that's the next fight, that's the fight we want next, that's the fight we've told Eddie Hearn we want next, that's the fight. I know Golden Boy Santa Cruz was interviewed over there, he wants to fight Quigg fight next, and I think that's a great mini old school Eric Morales Pereira type of fight, and that's the fight we want. The Santa Cruz fight is the absolute fight that we want, and I will be upset if we don't get that fight next, but they're the fight that we're planning for to happen next, and that's what we're in training for already.
Paul Smith out in action on Saturday in Cardiff, would that be right?
Yeah, definitely he's fighting in Cardiff on Saturday, and listen, he's 8 rounds away from a world title fight. I was in Berlin the weekend before last watching Abraham, and hopefully that fight happens there. Paul fights Arthur Abraham in the autumn time. It's a great opportunity for Paul, and like I say, he's got himself in a good strong position, and listen, what a fantastic achievement that'll be for Paul Smith to fight Abraham, and after being over there and watching, I'm not going to say Paul Smith's got to be the favourite for the fight, but he's got a puncher's chance of winning that fight, and anyone with a decent punch can win a world title.
I've heard some rumours about Scott Cardle, Scott Cardell potentially fighting Scott Harrison.
Yeah, that's a great fight. Eddie Hearn's mentioned that to us. We've accepted the fight. I think Scott Harrison's just waiting for some clearance from the board, but that's a fight that's accepted. So obviously Scott Cardell, last time out in Scotland and passed well over Paul Appleby, and like you say, we're in training now for Scott Harrison. That's got to be a good fight, a good experience, former world champion, and that's another test for Scott Cardell, and a chance for him to fight up there in Scotland where his fan base is growing all the time, and I'll be really happy for Scott Cardle to come through that fight, because it's a really tough fight, and you've seen Scott Harrison when he fought Walsh, he's still got plenty to offer.
That was a great fight, Scott Harrison.
No, definitely was. He's not past it by no means.
Last word on Callum Smith, how's he progressing, Joe?
Callum, listen, he's got a tough fight this weekend against Tobias Webb. You can't take nothing from the prize fighter that Tobias was in. It's a different format, and like you say, here he is now getting ready for Callum Smith. He's had a good training camp, Callum Smith is, and I'm expecting a real tough fight. It's got to ask you a couple of questions from Callum Smith on the night. Tobias Webb's got to cause some problems. He's got good hand speed, he's not afraid to get involved, and somebody that's got to bring a fight to the table which will enable Callum Smith to produce his best. So yeah, a busy weekend. Paul Smith, Callum Johnson's back, which I'm really pleased about. A great addition to the light heavyweights, and we'll see what happens at the end of the Maxi Nutrition, and that's it. And then next Wednesday, Stephen Smith.
Stephen Smith next Wednesday in Leeds, top of the bill. Why has there not been more press about Stephen being top of the bill in Leeds? I've hardly seen anything about it.
It isn't just that it's top of the bill, he's the number 10 WBC fighting the number 2 or 3 WBC for the silver belt. This is like as good as a world final eliminator. Now, you tell me it's a proper trade fight. If the kid's won his last 36 fights, he's fought for the world title twice against Freitas and Chris John, not being stopped, and it's like, that's a proper solid fight. Yet I'm waiting to see Boxing News, whether they put anything. I'm waiting to watch Ringside tomorrow night, because that fight's as good as any Kell Brook, Carson Jones, Tony Bellew, Chalemba, them type of eliminators, and this is a real fight. Stephen Smith had knockout of the year last year, beating Gary Buckland, and this is a real hard fight. Stephen Smith's an underdog going into it, and like you say, he's got a lot to prove, and I'm really disappointed in the lack of coverage that's been given to this fight. Seems to have gone under the radar.
You do know who went up and covered the press conference though, don't you?
Pardon?
You do know who went up and covered the press conference?
You did, James.
It was me.
Fair play to you. I filmed London doing the business.
Indeed.
Getting to the heart of boxing.
Indeed. Joe Gallagher, thank you for answering my questions so honestly. Give me a bit of time today. Hopefully I'll get a chance to come down your gym. Last time I was there, you gave me a hoodie.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, I'm trying to angle for another one because that one got stolen.
Yeah, no problem. I'll give you a hoodie, t-shirt, whatever. No problem, mate. But listen, I'll see you in Leeds, and thanks for noticing the Stephen Smith, the lack of publicity. Thank you very much.
That's all right. No problem. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Joe.